What's up, guys? IDK Play here, coming with another NASCAR Heat 4 video, guys, and today we are going to talk about the possibility of legend cars being added as a new series in NASCAR Heat 4 or future NASCAR Heat games. But before we get into the video, shout out to my donators, Reverend Regime Store, and or if anyone donated during Thursday night's live stream. Links to their channels will be in the description below. And the reason why I said and or if anyone donated during Thursday night's live stream is because I am recording this video before Thursday night's live stream. So if you did donate during that live stream, your channel name will be on the screen in front of you, and link to your channel will be in the description below along with Reverend Regime Storts. So without further ado, guys, let's get started. So, as you guys can tell by the title, we are going to be talking about legend cars. So, if you guys don't know what legend cars look like, this is a picture of a legend car on your screen right now. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use this as a thumbnail or not. I'm still debating on it. But basically, I want to talk about this because originally I said ARCA has the highest chance, in my opinion, to be in NASCAR Heat 4 if 704 Games goes and decides to add a new series to NASCAR Heat 4. But I have to throw that aside, and I have to say legend cars now have the highest chance of being in NASCAR Heat 4 if they go and decide to add a new series into NASCAR Heat 4, or even if they go ahead and decide to add a new series into future NASCAR Heat games. And the first reason, or the first explanation why I would say legend cars have now the highest chance of being in NASCAR Heat 4 if NASCAR Heat 4 adds a new series, or future NASCAR Heat games if they go and decide to add a new series in future NASCAR Heat games, is because they mentioned it in the online survey. So, if you guys don't know what survey I'm talking about, 704 Games went and made a survey a while back ago, and it had a bunch of different questions about it that they wanted us, the fans, to fill out. And in one of the questions, along the lines, it said something around what would you guys like to see in future NASCAR Heat games. It said something along the lines of that, and one of the answer choices were Legends cars. So if you guys don't know, originally a lot of us thought what they meant by Legend cars were like classic NASCARs, like, NASCARs from the 90s. But with, research and all this other stuff, I found out what they meant by legend cars was the legend cars, like, the actual race car. And the reason why we know 704 Games meant legend cars as the actual race car instead of old NASCAR race cars that were raced back in the day was because 704 Games would have used the term classic cars if they were talking about old NASCAR race cars, not the term legend cars. Now, the reason why 704 Games mentioned legend cars in their online survey for you to pick an answer choice out of the following questions, which legend cars happen to be one of the options, the reason why it's there is because 704 Games knows that they are capable of adding that series into NASCAR Heat 4 or future NASCAR Heat games, and here is why. So let's start off with the first one, and that's the fact that 704 Games already knows how to add new series into their new installments of NASCAR Heat games. So as you guys know, with NASCAR Heat 2, they added the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series. In NASCAR Heat 3, they added the Dirt Series. So they already have an understanding of how to add new series into their new NASCAR Heat games. So someone might have to fact check this on me, but 704 Games will most likely be using the 2018 Unity engine for NASCAR Heat 4, and someone's got to fact check this one on me, and the new Unity engine will have more storage space than the previous Unity engine that 704 Games was using, so that could also play a bigger role into 704 Games adding another series into NASCAR Heat 4. And this right here is probably going to be the biggest reason why 704 Games has a higher chance of adding the legend cars into NASCAR Heat 4 or future NASCAR Heat games than any other series. And it's because 704 Games can recycle some tracks from the Dirt Series, the Truck Series, the Xfinity Series, and the Cup Series for legend cars. Now, the reason being why this plays a huge role into legend cars coming into NASCAR E4 or future NASCAR E games is because 704 Games has already recycled tracks for their previous series they have added in previous NASCAR Heat games. For example, for the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series, those two series already go to a handful amount of tracks that the Monster Energy Cup Series goes to. So what they did was they take the tracks that were already on the Monster Energy Cup Series schedule, and instead of spawning the Cup cars, they would spawn the Xfinity Series and the trucks, and they would probably make a couple, changes to how the race goes on. Obviously, lower the amount of laps, and change the title sponsor, and they would obviously change the sponsor of the race. So they would recycle the track but do a little different cosmetic changes for the track and all that other type of stuff so it could fit the series that is actually running on the track. So what did they do? They recycled the track. For the Extreme Dirt Tour, they recycled Richmond and they recycled Bristol. They took those two tracks, and instead of having pavement, they added dirt, but they still technically recycled the tracks because Bristol is ran in the Monster Energy Cup Series and Richmond is ran in the Monster Energy Cup Series. So what does this do? This cuts down on the new tracks that they have to make 100% from scratch. So as you guys know, for NASCAR E2, they had to make 100% from scratch brand new Eldora Speedway. They also had to make Gateway, Road America, Mid-Ohio, just to name a few, even Canada. Okay, so they also cut down on tracks that they had to make brand new. For the Extreme Dirt Tour, they also didn't have to make Eldora because Eldora was already in NASCAR Heat 2. So what they did, they recycled that track, but they obviously updated it. They updated the tracks. So what I'm trying to say is, legend cars do go to certain tracks that are on the Monster Energy Cup Series schedule today. What tracks am I talking about? Texas Motor Speedway, Charlotte Motor Speedway, Atlanta, Las Vegas, just to name a few. Those tracks have small, short tracks within them already that legend cars sometimes run on. And what am I talking about? If you look at an aerial view from all four of those tracks I just named, on the front stretch where the grass is, there's like a little circle that goes from the front stretch of the actual track to pit road, and it's a small little track, and legend cars sometimes run on those type of tracks. Now, if you guys look on your screen right now, this is what I'm talking about. You look at the front stretch and you see there's the front stretch, and then there's that little short track that is built inside the track from the front stretch, and it goes from the front stretch onto pit road, and then it exits pit road through the short track and back onto the front stretch. That is what I'm talking about, and legend cars race on that type of track at both Charlotte Motor Speedway, which you guys can see right now on your screen, Atlanta, Texas, and Las Vegas, just to name a few. But I'm not stopping there. There are other tracks on the Monster Energy Cup Series schedule that legend cars could be used to run on, and mainly they are short tracks. Now, two tracks that do come to mind when I say recycling short tracks that are on the Monster Energy Cup Series schedule that could be used for the Legend Cars series are Martinsville and Bristol Motor Speedway, obviously because they are short tracks. Also, if 704 Games wants to recycle a dirt track that they want into a Legend Car series, they could recycle Eldora. So someone might have to fact check this on me, but I one time saw a video of Eldora being raced on by Legend Cars. It's a short track and it's a dirt track, and it's already been in NASCAR Heat 2 and in NASCAR Heat 3 by both the Truck Series and the Extreme Dirt Tour. So if they want to do that too, that's what they can do. So as you guys know, this is very possible for them to do because these tracks are already in previous NASCAR Heat games, and what they would have to do is obviously lower the amount of laps that they are probably usually ran on by, the Truck Series, or lower or raise the amount of laps depending on what track it is, including if they're ran by the Extreme Dirt Tour already. So what they will do then is they'll just make the track look like, legend cars are going to race on it by spawning legend cars, probably, add the race sponsor to it and all that stuff like they do for the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series and the Monster Energy Cup Series, and basically make it look like or feel like legend cars are racing on that track, whether it is dirt or it is pavement. Now, is 704 Games just going to recycle tracks so they can, use that as a Legend Car series? No, the fact that recyclable tracks are already a possibility if they go and add Legend Cars into NASCAR E4 or future NASCAR E games, that is a big plus because that cuts down on the new tracks that 704 Games has to make from scratch. So, as you guys know, if they have to make new tracks from scratch, that means it's going to be a longer process. But if you add some tracks that are recycled, that cuts down on some new tracks that they would have to make. So the fact that some tracks are already in previous NASCAR Heat games, they can recycle it, add it to the series, and then they'll make new tracks from scratch, basically like they did already with the Extreme Dirt Tour. So this is a reason why legend cars have a huge possibility in being in NASCAR Heat 4 or future NASCAR Heat games. And it's because 704 Games mentioned it in their survey, which shows us that it is possible for legend cars to be added into NASCAR Heat 4 or future NASCAR Heat games. And if 704 Games wanted to add some tracks to the schedule, they already have some tracks that are already in NASCAR Heat 3 that could be used for legend cars in NASCAR E4 or future NASCAR Heat games because they would recycle it, which would cut down on 704 Games having to make brand new tracks straight from scratch. So that will be it for today's video, guys. Thank you guys all for watching. We just scratched the surface on why legend cars now have the highest chance and the highest possibility of being a new series to be added in NASCAR Heat 4 or a future NASCAR Heat game. And we just scratched the surface on why legend cars now have the highest chance and the highest possibility of being added into NASCAR Heat 4 if they do decide to go and add a new series in NASCAR Heat 4 or a future NASCAR Heat game. So thank you guys all for watching. If you guys are new, don't forget to smack that like button if you did enjoy this video. Comment down below about your opinion on legend cars and NASCAR Heat 4, or if you guys think legend cars will be a new series to be added in NASCAR Heat 4 if they do decide to go and add a new series in NASCAR Heat 4 or future NASCAR Heat games. And don't forget to subscribe for more NASCAR Heat 4 videos, NASCAR Heat 3 2019 DLC videos, Project Cars 2 live streams, GTA 5 live streams, and NASCAR Heat 3 2019 DLC live streams. And oh, by the way, guys, we are about to hit 7,000 subscribers, so thank you guys so much to everyone that subscribed. I'll see you guys in the next video or the next live stream. IDK out. And I got this soda, Remy boys